What is going on, my beautiful people? I want to first start off by saying Happy New Year to each and every one of you. If you're under the sound of my voice, I want to wish you a very special 2022. You've made it out of 2021. Hopefully, you've made it in a much better position than you started it. But I'm really excited for 2022. 2022 is going to be my year. I'm making the declaration that 2022 is going to be my year. And it's going to be the year for people who are connected to me. It's going to be the year for people who are striving to live a pivoted life. And so I want to first start off by thanking you. Thank you for choosing yourself. Thank you for making the decision to invest your time and to listen to this podcast. And if you're new here, we believe that life is all about the pivots, and those who decide to make the pivots decide to become successful. We believe that the success and what you want out of life is a very deliberate decision that you wake up each and every single day and make the choice to decide that you are going to get what you want out of life. And so, man, just so many good things to talk about. We are evolving this podcast, as mentioned. We had our first guest on last week, Brian Bullock. If you haven't listened to that episode, you've got what it takes, a phenomenal episode. Man, my dear brother, we just really had the chance to tap into really the spiritual aspect. And he really, I talk a lot about mindset here. I talk a lot about, having the mental fortitude and strategy here, and to really take the step back and take the time to spin it in more of a spiritual form, right? And being able to understand that there are some strategy. There's some strategy that's necessary. There are some mindset stuff that's necessary, but just as equally important, if not more important, is your spirit life and how you set your intention spiritually to accomplish the kind of life that you want. And so, man, I was just so excited for that episode. We've gotten such great feedback from the people that have listened to it. People really are starting to access and get connected to the information in ways that they haven't before. So I'm just loving the growth. We're going to continue to level up this podcast. We're going to continue to get better. We're going to continue to have guests on. I am getting better the more that I'm putting more information out there and talking more in front of the mic and getting more comfortable. So thank you guys, man. Thank you for being part of the journey. Thank you for being a part of the ride. But let's dive in, man. I want to talk about goals. And the topic for this episode today is going to be why goal setting won't work for you in 2022. That's almost like if I was a politician, that's probably be my theme, right? Or my slogan is why goal setting won't work for you in 2022. So I want to talk about why goals won't work in this episode. As we all know, as we welcome a new year, it's the perfect time for you to reset your life and begin to determine what this next year is going to look like for you, right? Truthfully, the kind of life that you'd like to track isn't waiting on a new year, but our minds often need that reset, that switch, that crossover to a new year before we begin to make the necessary changes. So though your goals and what you want out of life doesn't need a new calendar year to be in effect, sometimes we need that. We need that refresher. We need the stop and start of a new year to really tap into that what's best for us, right? And tap into that right mindset. But the truth is that you've done this year after year, right? Every new year begins with you setting intention on being someone different, or tweaking some aspect of you, or losing weight, or eating cleaner, or reading more, or connecting more with people and building better relationships. Every year, typically for most people, starts off with something new, right? And what I want to first start off by saying is nobody cares about your goals. If you're listening to me, I want to stop what you're doing. If you're driving, maybe keep driving. But nobody cares about your goals. Nobody cares about the kind of life that you want to create. Nobody cares about you getting uncomfortable to live and be the best version of you. The only person that cares about this is you. The only person that cares about this at the level in which you do is you. And so don't just expect because you decided to start a new goal this year that people are going to support you. Equally, don't expect that because you finally set intention on a goal that everything and everybody just going to lay down and come and serve you in your goal. The world and the universe does not care that you have a new goal. You are the one that care that you have a new goal. And so I say that because if you set your intention to be better and to really become successful and implement certain goals in your life, you have to know that it's the decision internally that you shifted and adjusted to build and accomplish the goal that you have. But because you woke up today and said, I'm going to accomplish a goal, that doesn't mean anything else around you is going to change. What changes when you make those declarations, what changes is when you make those decisions is you. You are the one that change. You are the one that care about your goals. Nobody cares about your goals. I'm going to just be honest. I'm going to just be blunt. Nobody cares about the goals and the kind of life that you want to create. No one cares that you want to be audacious this year. Nobody cares that you want to lose weight. Nobody cares that you want to be healthy. People do not care. People are focused on their own world. They're focused on their own life. And so if you're going to really be intentional, I say that because we often look for validation in other people to accomplish or to take a risk. And if your goal is big enough, if your goal is audacious enough, I'm telling you now that you're going to have to find it internally to be what you want to be. No longer, the days are over for you to look for validation from your friends and family member. And yeah, they may give it to you. People around you that love you, they may support you. They may give you maybe something to motivate you or something to inspire you, but nobody cares. And I want to put that truth and serve it up as clear as I can, because when you determine that there's no substitute that will change your life besides a mindset and a will that you're going to change, there's no substitute for that. And often goal setting, right, is so challenging for people, not just because they're trying to be and build something they never had or done before, but it's challenging because they don't necessarily build the habits to create the kind of goal that they want, right? So you may be able to incorporate changes for a short amount of time, right? You may be able to do something for January. You may be able to do something for a week or for a few months, but it never fails. I'm talking to you. If you're listening, I'm talking to you. You typically begin to revert back into your old habits and patterns. You do it every year. So what is going to change this year? What are you going to do differently this year than you have in other years? Because you set random goals and you continue to set random intentions, and nothing is going to happen if you continue to move by that. Just like the example, right? And we all know this. January 1, I was actually in the gym this morning, and parking lot was full. I expected it. Actually, let me take that back. When I pulled up, I forgot. I was like, oh, shoot. Why is it so packed? And then I remembered, oh, it's a new year. It's so busy here because it's a new year. And so I'm trying to like hold in my inner snarky of like wanting to look down on people who taking up the treadmills, because truthfully, right, we know how this all works. We know how this goes. We know that the gym is going to be full in January. It's going to be back to normal by February. We know this. It happens every year. It happens every year. And the same thing is true about aspects of our lives. We know that people are going to set budgets in January and they're going to forget about the budget in February. We know people are going to set a plan to get out of debt in January, but they're going to get more in debt by February. We know that people say, I'm going to go back to school in January, and by February, they never apply. You know that somebody's going to say they're going to start a business in January, but by February, the business never got off the ground and it never became more than a logo and a figment of imagination, right? And so there's something wrong with goal setting. This is why your goals won't work in 2022 and why goal setting hasn't worked for you, because there's an aspect of goal setting that you haven't gotten education on yet that I want to help inform you as we go throughout this episode to give you better tools to build better goals. Is that okay? Like if we take the time today to help you get the right tools necessary to build better patterns that would increase your efficiency and your efficacy to accomplish your goals, I want to challenge you to really lock in and listen, because if you just thought that by osmosis that you were going to accomplish your goal, just like every other year, you're wrong. And so I want to talk about this thing called willpower. Yeah, willpower. Willpower is what, when we just say we've got a goal, it's typically willpower that we are depending on to push us to the point that will accomplish our goal. What do you mean? Let's dive deeper. So willpower is like a gas tank in your car. Willpower is a resource that always need to be renewed and filled back up. And so if you always just rest on your willpower, right? And this is what hits everybody January 1 is every January 1, everyone has the willpower to accomplish and be the best versions of themselves. Everybody has the willpower. But just like a gas tank, when you drive it, the less and less and the more it decreases. So if you don't have necessary mechanisms in place to fill your tank back up, once your willpower is gone, you're going to revert back to the bad habits and you're going to revert back to the old patterns. So I want to help you fill up your tank when you get half full and not when you're on E, right? You know, there's a lot of people out there that I'm not that. I wait till I'm getting ready to, I'm on E. I've got 5 miles before I fill back up. And that may be an okay strategy for driving a car, but that's not an okay strategy for living the life that you want to live. So if your tank is empty, right, and if you lean and depend on your willpower to take your life to the next level, you're going to continue to end up empty-handed. And so how about we set the plan today that if you really are going to live the pivoted life, you have to get laser focused on how you go after your goals, and willpower won't get us there. So the willpower has its place though. So what I want to be able to do is kind of give you the formula, right? So willpower is going to be the thing that drives you to create what I call SMART goals. I believe SMART goals are extremely effective. I'm not sure who created SMART goals. Some of you can probably Google and find this out yourself, but SMART goals, and it's an acronym, SMART. It's an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. So let's first start with the SMART. So every goal has to be a SMART goal. Every goal that you set has to be a specific goal. It has to be something that you can measure. It has to be something that's attainable. It has to be realistic, and it has to have a time associated with it, right? So let's talk about the being specific. Being specific about your goals are really important. And so with the willpower, take the willpower to build out your SMART formula, right? And so you set real numbers and real deadlines. So many of us don't want to set real deadlines because then we set parameters for failure. We don't want to set a date that we're going to do something by because we also set a date that if we don't hit it by, we also fail. Don't be afraid of that. Set the goal. Use your willpower to set real numbers and real deadlines. That's the S. The M, measurable. Make sure your goal is trackable. You need every single goal that you have. It has to have some kind of metric that is now trackable. If you are planning to lose weight and you want a meal plan, you need something trackable to decide what that looks like. So if it's checking off a box that because you meal planned 3 days that week and you worked out once a day every week, whatever, it has to have something that's measurable, and you have to be able to rate your performance right over that week or over that day, etc. The A in SMART is attainable. We have to be working towards a goal that is challenging. We want the goal to push us, but we want to make sure that it's possible. And I'd rather you set a goal that you can accomplish easier and tack on another goal to raise the bar than to set a goal so high, so far, so unlike you that you discourage and demoralize yourself midway because you start to realize how unattainable it is. There is an element of faith, right, that could come with this, but when you're setting these goals, right, make it something attainable. I want you to rack up wins back to back. I'd rather you snowball your way into success than to think that you have to make these huge leaps and bounds and you have to have a miracle to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. If you need a miracle to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish, that's not a goal. That's just a dream. That's just a fairy. You're just in fantasy land. And I'm all for dreams. I'm all for thinking big. I'm definitely all for that. But when we talk about setting specific goals, the challenge is when you start to get detailed and you start to identify what is attainable, you now, again, similar to setting specific goals, you now set a parameter for failure. I want to help make sure that you set yourself up for success. So make sure the goal is attainable. Realistic, the R in SMART. Make sure your goal is realistic. Be honest with yourself, right? You know what you and your team are capable of. You know what you and the people that are around you are capable of. Be honest. Be realistic with yourself. Stop setting these high ambitious goals. I'd rather for you, again, to set a goal that you can hit easily and then reset the goal, set a new goal, and get that momentum, get that adrenaline, get that rush from what it is to accomplish what you said you would accomplish, than to not at all. And then T, time bound. The T in SMART is time bound. Give yourself a deadline. I'm going to lose a certain amount of weight by March 1st, 2022. I'm going to save up this amount of money by January 30th, 2020, whatever the goal is, right? Set a specific time. Now, here's the kicker. Here is the kicker. Here is the part when the rubber hits the road. If you want to know a way to be extremely effective at accomplishing any kind of goal, if you got the willpower to accomplish that goal, and if you set a SMART goal, if you do the specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound restraints on that particular goal, you are just missing one key ingredient. And I'm telling you, if you get this ingredient, you're going to accomplish 90% of the things that you want to accomplish. It's psychology. Like if you get this ingredient, you're going to accomplish 90% of the things that you want to accomplish. As long as they are SMART goals, you're going to accomplish them. The hard part is you want something you've never had before, but you got to be willing to do something you've never done before. So after you set your SMART goal, you have to have someone holding you accountable. Tell as many people as possible your goals, and ask people to hold you accountable for accomplishing those goals. Also put a reward, and some people call it the reward and the stick, right? Like puts a reward and a stick in place, a reward that if you accomplish it, and a stick or a punisher that's in place if you don't accomplish it. I'm talking people that are serious. If you're really serious about accomplishing this goal, you will talk to every single person you know about this goal that you've got in mind. If this is something you're serious about. Not if you're just trying to accomplish this goal behind the scenes and just show up in the world with that accomplished goal. It's not going to work. You've tried that already. Be public about the kind of goals that you want to accomplish. Be intentional about letting people that you know, letting people that you trust understand the kind of goals that you want to accomplish. Now, I'm not asking for you to get their feedback on these goals, because some people could discourage you. I'm not asking you to get somebody's approval on the kind of goal that you want to set. That's not at all what I'm saying. I am saying I need you to be telling the people around you, not asking, but telling them what you're going to do with your life, what you're going to do with your goals, what you're going to do with your transformation. You have to own this, because nobody else cares. Nobody else cares that you accomplish your goal. Truly, accomplishing your goals will actually have people being more self-centered, right? And actually more insecure about it. So that's why you've got to be more careful, because the moment that you decide to accomplish your goal, the moment that you decide to get outside of what your environment says you're supposed to do and strive forward to be the best version of yourself, people around you may begin getting insecure. People may tell you that you can't accomplish your goal because they've never been able to accomplish their own goal. So the worst thing for them that they could see is you striving forward and them being stuck. So them being stuck puts a parameter around the people that they talk to, and that person could be you. So it's super important to make sure that as you're telling people about these goals, and as you're getting the accountability that you need, that you are not opening up yourself to be discouraged about the goal. As long as the goal hits the SMART check marks, right? As long as it's a SMART goal and it's aligning to the kind of life that you want to create, go for it. I'm all for it. Do it. But you also have to make sure that you have somebody to hold you accountable. And then here's the kicker. I'm sure 90% of the people that are listening to this episode will not do this. There's no doubt about it. That 90% of the people that are listening to this episode are not going to get the accountability that they need. They're not going to message somebody. They're not going to text someone. And they're not going to take it the step further and identify what the reward, what the carrot and what the stick is, right? So the carrot is your reward. What am I going to get in addition to my goal once I accomplish it? If you and set the carrot so good that you have no choice but to accomplish the goal. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I set a goal this year that I wanna a Corvette. I want one of those new, I think it's the C8 Corvette with the mid-engine. That I love it. It's a great car. It's in my range. It's not a Lamborghini. I can't afford that yet, but I set a goal for this Corvette, this new Corvette. And I set the goal based on a financial goal or metric that I hit in my life. So I said, once I hit this target, I'm going to purchase this vehicle. And I had to be honest with myself and set the goal on the vehicle, because when I thought about it, I was like, ooh, it fired me up, right? And who knows? I may get the financial goal and then realize like, nah, I don't want the Corvette anymore. That could change. But as I was putting the goal in place and I was setting the carrot that I had for myself, which was the Corvette, red Corvette, which is the red Corvette, it excited me. It fired me up. So as I'm on my journey, I've got a great carrot. I've got something that I can look forward to. I'm like, man, it's just so close. And the minute that I accomplish it, the day I'm gonna get it, the day that I accomplish it is the day that I go and reserve the Corvette that I want, right? But also, I equally have a stick. I have a punisher. I have something that's in place that if I don't accomplish that goal, I've got to cut a check to somebody. And it's going to be a nasty check. It's going to be an annoyingly expensive check that I've got to write to somebody because I decided that I wasn't going to put in the work to accomplish the goal that I want. So some of you may put the carrot in your life, but some people may struggle with the stick. You need your carrot and you need your stick in order to identify and getting somebody to hold you accountable, okay? So listen, I want to give you strength. I want to give you power. I want to give you the tools necessary to accomplish your goals for 2022. But if I'm being honest, you do this every single year. You do this every single year. You set a goal and never accomplish it. You forget about it. You push it off. You say next year, next month, whatever. But as you are setting your intentions for this year, prioritize the kind of life that you want to create, because truthfully, you are not going to stumble into the life that you want to create because nobody cares and nobody's going to give you your life. You have to go out, wake up every single day, put one foot in front of the other, and do the work necessary to create your life, to create what you want, how you want it on your terms. And that's all I've got for you today. Let's continue to push toward this year. I'm so excited to build this podcast with each and every one of you. Your support, your loyalty has been astounding. Don't forget to continue to like, share, review the podcast so we can continue to get this message out there. And remember, life is all about the pivots, and those who decide to make the pivots decide to become successful. Peace.